Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another installment of 20 Minutes for Israel from Israel. We are humbled to be joined by Elianna Doron, who's currently serving in the IDF. And we really appreciate you taking time from your schedule to meet with us. For those who are new to this program, we take every weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 20 minutes from our schedule to connect with people on the ground doing incredible things for the Jewish people for 20 minutes from 12:30 to 12:50. And we are, again, humbled to be joined by someone who's in active service in the IDF. There are so many essential roles that happen to make sure that the people of Israel are protected. And before we start, I just want to say just how proud we all are of your commitment, even before this happened, to the Jewish people, to the land of Israel, the state of Israel, the people of Israel, and all the more so how we stand with you and whatever we can do to support you. We're proud. We're proud that you're able to do this important work. So please tell us a little bit what's going on, where you are, where you're serving in the Army, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, and we'll continue from there.
Okay, well, for everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Elianna Doron. I'm serving in the Air Force currently. I won't say where I am currently, but I'm an Air Force base. I'm a photographer. And what I do on the usual is I photograph my unit. I'm in the ground control and air traffic control unit in the Air Force. And I photograph the unit and I make like educational videos, like explaining things. So now currently my job is kind of shifted into something else. Like I do take pictures, but I rarely take pictures of what I normally do, and I'm now making educational videos on how to go to bomb shelters and how to close the door after you, and what to do if there's if terrorists come into the base, and how to act in those situations. And that's mostly what I'm doing, and just helping wherever I can, really.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you. You grew up in America. You grew up in our community. I know this wasn't what I sent you, but what inspired you to join the IDF?
I think I always really wanted to. It's always been a dream of mine, I think, to come to Israel and first of all live here, and then as I had to come to a decision what I want to do after high school, it was always in the back of my mind. Like I always wanted to come and give back because my whole family lives here, and I felt like it's something that I couldn't continue doing. I couldn't go on with my life without doing it, and if I didn't do it, I would look back and regret. And after everyone knows, I went to the Hebrew Academy until 8th grade, and then after that I decided to go to public school, and there I really experienced what it was to kind of feel alone, in a sense of like what it is to be Jewish. And that's when I really realized how important it was for me to come to Israel and really give back, because in the best way I can.
So you mentioned your family in Israel. How are they holding up? What's sort of the mood that you're seeing there?
I mean, now most everybody's pretty much gone back to their regular schedules. It's definitely weird. In the beginning, everyone was still in shock. They didn't have school. People are starting to go back to school. My cousins, it's like hybrid. Like when we had COVID, like one day they're Zoom, one day they're in school. Most of my family is not very south. They're more central Israel. But it's definitely different. There's this weird feeling amongst everyone. Because there can be sirens, and then you have to run to the bomb shelter. So it's definitely different, and it's hit everybody in a very personal way. Everybody knows someone, so it's definitely hard for everyone.
Is there someone who perhaps are fallen or is captive that you want to share with us that we to remember together?
I do have one of my friends. I came to Israel with Garin Tzabar, so I live in Kibbutz Chatzorot Megarin, And one of my friends, his name is Idan Alexander. He was taken hostage on October 7th. He serves in the Golani Brigade. And it's been very difficult for me, for my whole Garin, because we've been living together for the past year, so it's definitely my second family. So it's been difficult finding out that he was taken hostage.
Yes, it's terrible, and I can tell you, you can see it in the face of the people here, even though many of us don't know people who were actually taken hostage, how much the situation of the cruel captivities in Gaza, weighs on so many people here. I know it's been a blur sort of the last 3 weeks. Is there a moment that sort of sticks out in your mind to share with us, sort of that captures a little bit of some of the things that's been going on?
I think for me, a big thing, everything that's going on is realizing how much everybody's come together. Like in my unit, like my little office, I'm in my office with my friends, like we work, we do our jobs, and nobody really has much interaction with anybody. But now everybody's just very sensitive to the situation. Everybody's there for each other when they need. And I can tell you today, on a happier note, I don't know if anybody knows Ishai Ribo, but he came to our base and he performed, and there's a lot of, like, I just came back from his concert, and it's very uplifting knowing that the whole country is coming together and everybody I know is trying to help in any way they can. And last weekend I was coming home. I finally, after 3 weeks on base, I was let out and I went home. And we were driving in the bus, and I looked, in every single car that passed by, I see people like wearing their uniforms, and I was like, this is like, I've never seen so many people wearing their uniform. That was like a crazy moment where I really realized how much everybody like came together to protect our country, because it's important.
Well, I'm a huge Yishai Ribo fan, although I hope to meet him not under sort of the circumstances that you're describing.
Yeah.
Is there a moment we've heard from people to talk about sort of a moment, a ray of light, where someone did something for them or they were part of an initiative that really just brought a lot of hope? And you just described one of them. Is there something that sort of, I'm sure you've seen a lot of trumot, a lot of donations and people trying to bring things to army bases. Is there sort of a moment that stuck out, or a story you want to share with us that, to help us understand what you're seeing?
I can say that we have gotten a lot of donations, and it's really nice to see, because for us closing 3 weeks on base, we didn't have washers, dryers. Like, everyone had to find somehow to do their clothes, to like wash their clothes, and food has been a big thing, and there's a lot of people on base now because everybody's in reserves. And it is just nice to see how much people came to give us stuff, and they really want to help in any way. And yesterday there was another little event, and there was a group from Nefesh B'Nefesh that came to give lone soldiers packages, which was very, very nice. And I met a girl who's like a mother whose daughter is in Garin Tzabal too, and I spoke with her, and it was nice knowing that to see people from outside of Israel also coming to Israel and helping, and that was also a big moment for me.
That's awesome. Although I did hear from Nefesh B'Nefesh that at this point they are insulted if America sends any more deodorant. How many times can we tell Israelis that they need to use deodorant? So I don't know if you've experienced that as well. What, in terms, you described a little about sort of the public safety work that you're doing. I don't want to ask you, questions that you can't answer in terms of operations, but like, what's the feeling? What are people working on in terms of on your base that you can share? If there's anything you can share, I realize as I say that might not be possible.
There's not much I can share. I just so that everybody knows that the army is working hard in it, and they're constantly working day and night, every single hours of the day, really, to protect Israel. And there's a lot that's going on that many people don't know, for the better. And there's a lot of things that people do know that's gone out and been published. But that's most of what I can say.
Gotcha. what's the feeling among sort of the chayalot that are listed, being what you refer to being closed for 3 weeks. For those who might not be familiar, that sort of army lingo for not being able to leave your base. Typically, you maybe even go home every day or at least every week. Being closed for that much time means that you're basically sequestered on your base for that whole time. What's the morale like?
The morale is high. I can say that it's difficult. I can see every person. It's difficult every single day. There's someone that's like, oh, come on, like matay ze yigamer, like when is it gonna be over? Like nimas li kvar, like I'm tired of this. And it's definitely difficult for everyone, but everyone's kind of getting over it together and talking about how they feel, and because everybody's feeling the same way. There's no person that's not struggling right now. I can tell you that when I got here in the beginning, like right after the war started on Saturday, on Sunday I went to base, and everyone was like in shock. Nobody knew what was going on, and nobody knew how long we were going to be on base. So it was definitely, I'm used to going home every Thursday and going back to base every Sunday. So I don't have much time on base. And then suddenly I closed 3 weeks on base with my friends, and so like everyone's a little bit irritable, as one would be after being 3 weeks together all the time. But the morale is high. Everyone's working hard. I think everyone's just trying to work to get their minds off of everything else that's going on. I know personally that's how I'm working through this, because it's not easy always being stuck with your own thoughts.
Right. Here you are talking to a group of family and friends and people who come from sort of the same area where you are. What do you think we need to know? What do you think American Jews need to know during this time that perhaps we don't know?
I think I know everybody's worrying and everyone's scared, and it's a very scary thing that's going on, but I think don't worry, everything is gonna be okay. We have this under control. Really, now we have it under control. After almost 4 weeks, almost a month. And just keep raising your voices, keep speaking out. I know that there's a lot of things, a lot of the protests in America against Israel and all those things. I think just keep supporting Israel, being educated and educating other people if you can, if it's possible. And just getting your voice out there, because there's the big war is also in the media and not just here in Israel.
Right. Truer words have not yet been spoken, so 100%. Are there things we can do to support you?
I'm feeling supported just by being here and seeing everyone that's gone on this call to listen. And I know everyone's probably doing their own thing at home and their own ways that they can support. And I mean, at this point, I know people are here in Israel like overwhelmed with donations and everything, but I don't really know. I feel supported like completely by my community here in Israel and my community back at home.
Awesome. Well, we did just send a bunch of cards to IDF soldiers with a delegation from Hartford who went this week from the Jewish Federation. I actually just received from my daughter, Amalia, who who's in first grade now. She's gotten a lot bigger.
Wow.
A whole bunch of letters to Tzal from the students from first, second, and third grade from now the New England Jewish Academy, but your alma mater. So we'll try to see if we can get them specifically to you. Thank you so much for your service, your dedication to Am Yisrael, the Jewish people, to Medinat Yisrael, the state of Israel, and Eretz Yisrael, in the land of Israel. Anything you want to leave us with? Any last words?
I think just stay strong. We'll get through this. It's not going to be short. It's definitely not going to end tomorrow and not in another week or another 2 weeks, but it will end and it will be better on the other side. And just be calm and stay strong, and everything's going to be okay.
Excellent. Thank you for those words. We so appreciate them. We are going to stop now. For those who are family who are on, we're going to let you unmute so you can talk to Elianna. Join us tomorrow and next week for our next installments of 20 minutes from Israel for Israel. Each day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for 20 minutes, beginning at 12:30 to 12:50. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow.